You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Cabral Concept. It's great to be back with you here today. Excited to get into another Friday review. Hard to believe we're already back. Another Friday is here. The week, at least for me, has seemed to flew by. But here's the nice thing, is that I like to end cap the weeks. I like to start the week with what I'm looking to get out of it, what I'm looking to achieve, all the different things that we have planned for work and family and friends and all of those things. And then at the end of the week, it's okay, what happened this week? And that's really what I use the Friday review for. What happened this week? What went on? What can I take from it? And I want you to do the same thing. I want you to look back on, did you read any books? Did you start to read a book? What did your week look like? So I try to go through that with you. And then I also look at what research I've been reading this week. What out of the many research studies I've read do I think could apply to you in your own life? And of course, I like to share all the new products I'm always playing with and having fun with in this health and fitness-based industry. So I'm going to dive right in today. There's been a lot going on this week. I shared a little bit on yesterday's show on essentially the two workouts that I'm going to be doing for the next 30 days. And I wanted to share that with you because just like you, my life can be extremely busy, and there's a lot going on at all times, but sometimes it's even busier than other times, and for sure, that has been this week. This week, we opened up our Integrative Health Practitioner program. We are now closed with that program, and it was absolutely amazing welcoming in our next 100 members. So we've been trying to really make them feel welcome, make them feel that they are a part of the community, that whenever you start something new, it can feel overwhelming, but we have emails to walk them through the process. We have our private Facebook group. We're going to be doing a Facebook Live with me over the next week or so. So we really try to integrate it and help those 100 members. It's only why we let in only 100 members per month, and that is because we do want them to feel cared for. We want them to feel like they are a part of this community. And so it's really exciting. But at the same time, I was doing my own fall detox. Now, there were dozens of reasons I could have given you of why I should not have done the detox this week, next week, or for the foreseeable future. I have travel dates coming up. We have a bunch of new programs coming out that you don't even know about. We're working on them behind the scenes. We're a virtual-based company, Equilibrium Nutrition. And we had the whole management team come in this week for on-site meetings. So every quarter, we try to get the team together from all over the United States to really join together and forecast what we want to do, what we want to achieve for our community. So I talk about new formulas I want to create. I talk about the new content section of Equilibrium Nutrition coming soon with webinars and a brand new podcast from my team members that are going to be bringing you more research, short articles, A to Z conditions, our different quizzes that we're going to bring in to lead you to better decision making on your own health, to just make that easier for you. So there's so much that I like to lead our team through that, again, that could be one more reason, hey, don't do the detox this week. It's too busy. Oh, and then next week you have to travel. Oh, and by the way, you're moving out of your condo in the city that you've been in for the past 12 years, and there's going to be a lot going on, so probably you shouldn't do it this week. But again, I didn't let those things stop me because I knew that if I don't take care of my health, my body won't take care of me. So that's the thing, is like, it's a two-way street, right? You can't just drive your body into the ground by going and pushing and not taking some time to empty that rain barrel. And I'm such a big believer. I really believe the one big reason why people are not mentally at their best or physically at their best or emotionally at their best is because they're carrying too much stuff with them. I'll talk about that on a future show. But you have to release the baggage physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in relationships, etc. It's the only way to move forward is to create space. You have to create new space. So, is it always easy to go through days 1 and 2 of the detox? No. But, you never know how the detox is going to go. To be honest, I've never had an easier detox. But this is also somewhere around my 25th. I haven't exactly counted, but I've been doing this now since about 2011 officially. And I've done, back then I wasn't doing 4 a year, now I am. So it's been about 4 a year for that length of period of time. So here's the thing though. You never know exactly how it's going to go. All I know is I can tell you is that you need it and I need it. I mean, we just need it. We live in a fairly toxic world. And over the summer, especially the last 10 days of summer, I had a couple more cheats than I typically would do. And I'm not upset about it. I don't feel guilty about it. There's no shame. I enjoyed it. I was with friends. I was with family. And our summer here in the New England area is about 8 weeks from the beginning of July, 4th of July essentially, to the Labor Day weekend, and I'm going to enjoy it. Do I have a cheat meal every day the whole summer? No. I still stick with my 1 or 2 a week during the summertime. After that, I tighten it up to pretty much just a weekend night and really enjoy that. And again, I don't keep it steadfast. In the beginning, I did when I was trying to get well. And then after that, there was more leniency. But I know that every 12 weeks, I need my 7-day detox. And I'll tell you what, that this detox did a lot for me. And it was probably the exact thing I needed to balance the craziness of my life right now. I felt, really, this was my best one to date that I can even think of. I had hunger a little bit at the end of day 1 and waking up on day 2, but I knew why I was doing it, and I kept thinking back, what's going on inside of my body right now, right? This process of autophagy is going on. I'm cleaning up any dis-ease in the body that shouldn't be there, and I want to renew. I want to work on anti-aging. I want to work back on my health and wellness. So it's been absolutely great, and again, we're not done yet. We'll finish essentially Sunday night, last meal Sunday night. And then if you haven't started yours, well, we're doing a back-to-back for those people that weren't able to do it this week because the holiday, they didn't get their detox in time. You can start, if you want, just go to cabralsupportgroup.com. It's our free Facebook group. We'll be posting daily next week as well. So many comments. I mean, I couldn't even tell you, maybe 700 comments or more, 1,000 comments in the Facebook group just with this last 7 days. So pretty amazing community and just really to be a part of it. I'm happy to be a part of it. There's so many great people in there posting their journey, and it's it's really great to see. It honestly is. All right, that's what's been going on the past week for the most part. And what I want to do now is share with you a couple books that people have asked me for follow-ups on. I did a podcast on Tuesday on how to decide what form of medicine is best for you. And I went through, I went through the 7 disciplines of the integrative health practice that I've learned and that I try to teach to other doctors, other nurses, other health practitioners and personal trainers, and our health coaches in IHP. So I've been teaching this now for many years. It was no one person taught all of these to me, but I did go out and seek them out. I went all over the world to study them, and then I brought them back and I used them in a Western-based practice. So remember, I can't practice the same here that I would do when I was in India or Sri Lanka. It's just different. It's a different culture. And so with this culture, I need to show data points first, which is great because I love data. I mean, I'm very science-minded. So that's what I do, and then I blend a lot of these Eastern-based modalities that have been around for many thousands of years, whereas our newer forms of medicine have only been around for a couple hundred years maximum. So if you didn't check that out, that was episode 1313, StephenCabral.com/1313. Check that out. And also the next podcast after that was Why Your Food Isn't Filling You Up. That was an important one to check out too, about how no matter what you're eating right now, hopefully mostly organic, that it just provides less nutrition. So what do you need to do about that? That was episode 1314. All right, but a follow-up from the show on what type of medicine is best. A lot of people had never heard about orthomolecular medicine before. I teach this again in IHP, but I'd love to give you a quick book, really simple book to read, really approachable. I've given many book recommendations on orthomolecular medicine before, which is a study study of minerals and the study of vitamins, essentially, to help with diseases in the body, not cure disease, but help with diseases in the body that will allow you to return your body back to health. So I've talked about the work of Dr. Andrew Saul before, the work of Dr. Linus Pauling before. So you can check out those podcasts for sure. How to Doctor Yourself is Andrew Saul's book. I've talked about Linus Pauling many, many times. I just talked about him on the single vitamin that can extend life and immunity, and that was episode 1307, so do feel free to check out that show as well. But today, an easy book, really short, really approachable, just on vitamins and medicine and what is orthomolecular nutrition. Yeah, why don't we go to today's show notes? Just head on over to stephencabral.com/1316. I'm going to link up all the research today. I'm going to link up the detox. I'll link up the books. I'll link up all the products I'm going to go through. So this is called Putting It All Together, the New Orthomolecular Nutrition. It's by Abram Hoffer, MD, PhD, and Morton Walker. This book was written, quite some time ago, but it's a nice introduction. And it's called Putting It All Together, the New Orthomolecular Nutrition. If you want to learn more about how vitamins and minerals can help with certain issues and health-based issues in the body, you can check that out. Again, no one book is the end-all, be-all, but you add it to your foundation, and you should know about the science of vitamins and minerals. Because if you go to your typical primary care, they're going to say to you, oh, there's no research behind that. Well, the problem is they haven't done the research behind it, because there is lots of research behind it. And there's been lots of research now for 50 years. So this is not new. This is simply not taught in conventional medical school, which is why you need to essentially self-teach yourself, because there's no other way to do that. We try to teach it on the podcast. Last year, what I did was every single Friday, I went through a new vitamin and mineral and the research behind it and what it was good for your body for. So you can always go back. You can listen to all those shows. We actually link them all up in IHP to make it easier for people. But I went through orthomolecular medicine, and I also went through yoga and herbal medicine on Tuesday's show. This book I've never recommended before, and it's from an Ayurvedic perspective on herbs, and it's called The Yoga of Herbs. It was written by two of my favorite Ayurvedic doctors, Dr. Vasant Lad and Dr. David Frowley. Both of those people were mentors to my mentor, mainly Dr. Vasant Lad. My mentor wrote the textbooks of his, so that was obviously the way that I found her and met her as well. But Dr. David Frowley, I've never personally met, but I've went through his course and certification with the Vedic Institute. I've talked about that before, and I've read all of his books. So again, I'm a little bit of an obsessive personality. You don't need to read all of his books, but he did write one called The Yoga of Herbs. And if you're someone who's more interested in going through each herb and what do they mean, are they vata-based, pitta-based, kapha-based, and what they do for the body, you can check that out. Many great books on herbs. This is, again, not the end-all, be-all, but a simple little book, Dr. Frowley and Vasant Lad. Okay. So 2 book recommendations based on your questions. Thank you, everyone, for always writing in, commenting on what you would like to see. Product recommendation of the week. I think I've mentioned this before on the show, but I've been transitioning now away from caffeinated coffee. I will still drink it from time to time because, again, I'm not rigid in my thinking now that my health is where it should be. So meaning that if I ever want to have a cup of caffeinated coffee, then great, I will do that. And will I still recommend it, or can some people still have it? Sure, but I trend more towards I'm in terms of mentality, pitta-based, so I certainly don't need more caffeine to, dive into my day and do what I want to do during the day and exercise and all that. That's why I do have to be a little bit more careful. But for the kapha types, for those that they know they are the kapha body type, a cup of coffee in the morning is not such a bad thing. It actually helps then promote a little bit more of that sympathetic nervous system. It gets them going. It moves the dopamine to that next level. And so there can be benefit there as well. So, I'm not against it. What I'm saying is, for me, I'm moving more towards decaf. And the way that I'm doing that is just, I've said this before, but a nice way to transition is 3/4 calf, then quarter decaf. Check out my show on essentially how to wean off caffeine. That's a great podcast I'd love you to listen to. My team is listening to this. Please try to link that up today in the show notes at stephencabral.com/1316. That would be amazing. But a couple coffees that I'm moving towards that I'm obsessed personality. My wife thinks it's hilarious because whenever I get on a new topic, I need to immerse myself in it. So I have about 4 bags of decaf coffee lying around the house. I'm tasting them. I'm testing them, pretending I'm a connoisseur of coffee, and a couple great ones. So I'm just going to share one this week, and I'll share more in the future as well. This one is a medium dark roast. It's a whole bean, so you can grind it at your home. Remember, if you buy whole beans, it's best to grind them right before use because you will get less oxidation, less chance for mold, etc. Okay. This one has a great name to it, and I couldn't not buy it. One is it gets huge reviews. It gets amazing reviews. But it's called No Fun Joe Decaf, which is, I just thought was, I love that, when companies and people don't take themselves too seriously. And it's fresh roasted artisan coffee. Why did I choose this one to even test out? Well, it's USDA organic. Okay, so I always want organic coffee. I don't want all the pesticides and solvents, etc., that are used. It's fair trade, which I always try to buy with my coffee. It's also Swiss water processed decaffeinated. That means there are no harsh solvents or ethanol or any types of gasoline that are used to decaffeinate your coffee. You don't want that, right? You want the Swiss water process. We've talked about that before. We use the Swiss water process for our CBD decaf coffee as well. So CBD decaf is the next level, right? It's the next level to relaxation without the spike in it. I'll talk about that in the future. And this is just called No Fun Joe Decaf Coffee by Joe Coffee. So I will link this up in the show notes. It's a clean coffee and it's kosher certified as well. What does it taste like? Well, here's the thing. They talk about it with its notes of sweet blueberry and milk chocolate, full body, complex if you're a big coffee person. And I can tell you, it definitely has that milk chocolate undertone, which is for the most part delicious. Most people, I think, would enjoy that. And then what can I say? I typically use a milk frother or just shake it up in a canister with a little bit of coconut cream or macadamia nut milk. And there's a fun little, if you've never used this gadget before, I know a lot of people have, it's just called a milk frother. That's all that it is. It's a handheld device. You put it in the bottom of your coffee or tea, and then you can bring it towards the top, and it will actually froth it really nice. So you can do that, or you can do what I do and just put it in a kind of like a stay warm thermos, shake it up, and it makes a nice frothy coffee as well. My wife introduced me to the milk frother, though, because she's been using it for many, many years. First, she used a bamboo whisk, which is nice too for froth. She drinks matcha, and I've talked about matcha before in the past, matcha, if you want to know about green tea matcha. So she'll use the organic, the ceremonial type blends, and she uses some organic coconut cream with the milk frother, and she makes a nice latte. It's mainly hot water and matcha with just a little bit of coconut cream, makes it into a matcha latte with this milk frother. I will link that up today as well. Super inexpensive at stephencabral.com/1316. Hope you enjoy those product recommendations. I always love bringing them each and every week. The reason being that many of us, we're trying to live this healthy lifestyle, and looking at new fun things in the health, fitness-based industry keeps us motivated, keeps us engaged, and I know for sure it works for me and a lot of my private wellness clients as well. So I want to bring you those and bring you all sorts of new things in the future as well. Stay tuned for those. All right. Next up, what I'd like to do is bring you our research article of the week. This one for sure is going to, I believe, help at least, if not you, friends or family members that sleep with the TV on. This has been some good research for a while, because what it does, it throws off your circadian rhythm. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. So here's what the research said. It was done by Dale Sandler, PhD, and he is the chief of epidemiology at the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences, Durham, North Carolina. And this was published in the journal, JAMA Internal Medicine. All right, so obviously really reputable journal, and this is what it said. This is what the findings were. I will link up, of course, the research study at stephencabral.com/1316. All right, so it said this: sleeping with the TV on may lead to weight gain. Women who slept with TV or other lights on were 17% more likely to gain at least 11 pounds over 5 years than women who slept in darkness. And those women were 30% more likely to become obese. So here's the thing. 11 pounds is a lot of weight gain over a couple years for doing nothing different than keeping that TV on. But what the article does, so a lot of these research articles never tell you, well, why is that? So I always like to break down the why. What happens is this: your body and your mind, your brain, needs to know that it is nighttime and that you are sleeping in darkness, okay? Because darkness, you have photoreceptors on your skin, you have photoreceptors, meaning light receptors, in your eyes, and there's also the different pronunciations for it, but the pineal gland, the pineal gland, however you like to pronounce it, and we look at the hypothalamus and pituitary regulatory centers of the brain. When it is night out, your body acts differently. It begins to go into repair mode. It begins to slow sympathetic nervous system dominance, turning down hormones such as adrenaline, norepinephrine, cortisol, aldosterone, and dopamine and other go factors, and allows you to have more of the serotonin, which leads to melatonin, which helps you to repair the body. So now you go into repair mode. Your body actually begins to break down more body fat because you're in a more calm environment. You're at a slower heart rate. Your body can tap more into a greater percentage of body fat during the night. Now, that does not happen if you are bombarded with light, and namely TV-based light. Now, why is TV different? I invite you to do this little experiment. Turn on your TV wherever it is. Go around the corner of that room where it's on. Now, look at the opposite wall of where the TV is at. Look at how it flashes against that wall. The flashing of the TV and our phones and video and all of that are what affects children and adults. It's been shown to elicit more of a fight or flight based response, more of a dopamine based response. It's the wake up, focus, get going, high alert parts of the body. That is why going to bed with the TV on or keeping it on at night is a really bad idea. I know a lot of people like to wind down, get in bed, watch a little TV. I don't recommend that, never have. The bedroom should really be a quiet space, a calming space, so that when you get into bed, it's time to turn off the day, right? It's time to turn on relaxation. You can read a good book. You can put a nightlight beside your bed if you want. Just make sure you use those non-blue light bulbs that I spoke about in the past, okay? That you keep it a light that's not going to stimulate the body. If anything, it's going to allow you to get more into that parasympathetic nervous system. You can wear blue blocking glasses. We will link that up in today's show notes as well. So let's say that your partner just doesn't believe you, they don't want to follow it, whatever it might be, right? That sometimes happens. So while you're reading your book or whatever might be going on, you're at least wearing your blue blocking glasses. That will certainly help from producing more cortisol. So these are all just great tips. Remember, it's never any one thing that leads us to our destination, but it's all those little actions, all the little things we learn along the way that allow us and enable us to live our best and healthiest life. I hope this information today has been helpful. If it was, please do feel free to pass it along to anyone else you believe it could serve. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing weekend, and don't forget to tune in for our weekend host calls where we answer our community's questions each and every Saturday and Sunday. Take care. Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.